We're live. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're just came in from work, and Blackjack was telling me on the way home that he wanted to do a live video this evening, so I guess we will. And we're aided in this by my sweet little wife's little self-pivoting vase that I think is really cool because it'll track you and track your movement, and it'll walk with you. So that's even better, isn't it? Though, and so really, all I wanted to talk about this evening, not too much, just really, um, I had it on my mind today about people that drink, drink, that want to get a Malinois. Um, if you notice, my hands are constantly busy when when I have um, when I'm walking with him, and I understand there's people that are extreme. They're good trainers. They're really good trainers, and I'm not gonna knock them because they are. They're good. I'm just an old country boy that knows what I know, but I've worked with a lot of different dogs in my life, and I can tell you that a Malinois is the absolute most challenging dog I've ever dealt with. But he's uh, he's a great dog, and Blackjack is just something else. Um, he just is, and you have to be careful when you get a Malinois if you want one, because you must be willing to invest a huge amount of time into the dog because they are fantastic dogs, but their mind's everywhere at once, and you have to start them as a puppy, um, teaching them to focus on you, and you have to love them, and they'll love you back. I promise you. And it is one of the it's crazy how loving these dogs are, and but with him, yeah, I learned a lot when I started with Blackjack, and you notice that I've got a I've got a distraction standing right there. That's Blackjack's buddy Tick, and on top of everything, he is a male Malinois. Get on here, and a male challenges you when they reach about a year. They really challenge you every day. Um, well, because it's a normal thing for dogs to do. They all want to be the alpha, and they're gonna stare at you. Okay, they'll lock eyes with you. Well, if they lock eyes with you, you can't break eye contact with them. You have to stare them down until they look away, or else they just got you. And if they got you, they got you. You can't. They can be a bit hard headed, and you can't let them do whatever they want to do, or else they got you again. And it's just not too many gotchas that they can do. And then that dog's running you, and you're not running the dog, and you have to be able to manage the dog, and you have to love the dog. And one of the best, you're about to see it, cheats in the world is one of these, and that's a treat because you can get their attention. But you get their attention. Sit. Good. See how attentive he got, and I've got what he wants. And that's where you see people using their hands to teach the dogs focus and things like that. And it's um, it's a huge investment of you if you do decide, if you're on the fence and you're wondering, should I or shouldn't I buy a Malinois? Well, here's the questions that you can ask yourself, because I'm not the kind of guy to tell you, you should do this or you should do that, and I'm not going to jump in your comment section and tell you how you need to to take care of your dog, because that's your dog, and you know what's best for your dog, and you're doing what you think is best. But I can give you some advice from my experience. What I'll say to you is, with a Malinois, if you've had other dogs, let's take it from a beagle to a Malinois. Okay, owning a beagle, if you get a beagle puppy and you raise a beagle puppy, that's more like having a really good model, radio controlled airplane, right? That you're out there flying every day and you're just enjoying it and all that. Okay, if you get a Malinois or a German Shepherd or a Doberman Pinscher or a Rottweiler, or any type of working dog like that, even the healers, um, you're now into a dog that's the equivalent of like an armed drone. Okay, so you've gone from model airplane to armed drone in dog in their capabilities. And point being, a mistake with one of these dogs can be fatal, or very much life changing. So you have to stay on top of the dog. You have to manage that behavior of the dog. You have to build a relationship with the dog. You're not going to train one of these dogs if you do not build a good, solid relationship with them. You're just not going to do it. You know, you're just not going to do it. And I get it. The There are those that are people who have dogs that they compete with, and I do things with him that they cringe at. I let stuff go just a little, but it's still not perfect heel, and things like that. Okay. Um, my purpose is with him. He's with me every day, all day. This is Blackjack, and he's with me all day, every day. And on top of being just a beautiful dog, he's an extremely intelligent dog, and he's an extremely loyal dog, and he's a loving dog, and he's a very protective dog. But I can walk up to anyone with Blackjack, and he will not be aggressive toward them. He won't try to bite them. He We're working on him lunging to try to be petted, which is crazy, but more than anything else, because you can tell he loves that. But the thing is, with him every day in the truck, he rides with me, and he's extra eyes, extra ears. And will he bite you? He sure will. Just as sure as God made little green apples, this dog will bite you. You don't have to teach a Malinois to bite something. He will. They come out of their mama knowing how to bite you. You have to teach them not to, when not to bite. And I started him as a puppy, and walking him into stores, and if people wanted to pet him, I allowed them to pet him. And the well, hello, how are you this evening? It's good to see you, Nature Dog Realms. I'm so glad to see you, Miss Chris. But the thing is, and for those others that are here that lady right there that I just spoke of, her channel is awesome, and she knows a thing or two about dogs too, and she would tell you I'm speaking the truth to you. But the thing is, you can't let the dog tell you what to do. You have to tell the dog what to do. And I'm not heavy-handed with him. I don't have to be most of the time. 99% of the time, I can be pretty easy with him, and hand signals and things with him work just fine. I do a lot of hand signals with him because I work in the oil field. And when he and I are out walking and he's moving with me, he's always tethered to me like this. And this is how we move and we walk every day, all day. And the thing is, he's paying attention to my hands because that's so, sometimes it's so loud we can't hear each other. I can't hear each other. He doesn't say a lot during the day, just so you know. He doesn't talk much. I taught him to read, but I haven't taught him to talk, so he's not able to discuss the books he's read to me with me. So that's something I've got to work on, I guess. But I have to be able to communicate with him without him hearing what I'm saying, and he does really well with that. And it's kind of casual between us. Um, but he complies because it's business and it's every day. It's every day. It's every day, and we have a routine. And he he is stupendous in that respect. But back to what I was saying, it would be irresponsible of someone to step up from a I don't know, let's just say a very low drive, kind of easy going, laid back breed of dog and jump into a Malinois without preparing some serious preparation. And I've not really ever spoken of this much, but in my lifetime, I've trained a lot of dogs. I've had a lot of dogs, and they all get kind of taught how to live and operate around me and what I need from them. And I try to take very good care of my dogs. Well, when I found out that, because, Blackjack, as many of you know, Blackjack was a gift to me. And when I found out that he was coming into my life, I I really had to prepare for um what I was about to be up against because he he caught me off balance there. All right, sit now. Quit. You know better. Um the I wanted to be my best for him. I did not even pick Blackjack as a puppy. He was chosen for me and given to me, and by the breeder and the breeder's kids actually, and couldn't have been a better choice in disposition because he is just a match for me. His drive level and his personality level, and if you've never seen a dog kind of be a little sarcastic with you, well, this one will be. He'll be a little bit of a smart aleck at times to do stuff just to mess with you. But it's amazing. All right, let's see what the let me get my thank you so much. Thank you. I okay, all right, good deal. We'll see you back in a minute. But I do encourage anybody watching, if you're not subscribed to us, subscribe. You're welcome to. We'd love for you to. We'd love to see you in the comments. We'd love to see you hit the like button on things. That'd be great. We'd love it. Um, on these other creators that are out there that are in our community, we we would love, I'd love to see you support them. Subscribe to their channels. Join um, as members. On some of them, they have the ability to opportunity to join um, a membership on their channel. Their content is great. I'm the lady I mentioned earlier there, Nature Dog Realms. That channel is great. And I say that because she's here, but I see that she's here, but there's so many out there that are that no, you are awesome. I'm just gonna say that, but I don't. I'm reluctant to hurt feelings by missing somebody, and this is an incomplete list. But I'll rattle a few off to you. Um, you've got Lauren's Little World with Max. You've got Coco. You've got Bushka. You got Miss Daisy May. Um, oh my goodness. Um, Help me out, Miss Chris. I'm I'm coming up blank because I'm standing in front of the camera and I'm smooth in front of one person, but you put me in front of a bunch and I get all crazy. But the yes, Foxy, don't forget Foxy. Um the Oh my goodness, come on with it, come on with it. You put them up and I'll name them. Um the I'm having to turn my bifocals up, because I'm an old guy. Um Berry, uh, he said Specs, yeah. Um Mary the Mary's what is it? Isn't it Gigs? Mary's Gigs. Um, the Optom family. Um, oh my gosh, there's so many. There's so many, and we love them, and they're great. And you can, matter of fact, on our channel, we did a playlist of some. It's just like I say, it's an incomplete list, and I don't want to hurt people's feelings if they don't make the list. But the those channels in our playlist, we encourage you to watch their stuff. That's why they're there, because they're great people, and there's behind all these channels, there's people, humans, and we we're just out here doing this, to as an outlet to reach out to people. In my case, okay, I've been gifted a spectacular dog, but I've also seen it go completely sideways, and I've seen the wheels come off several times on Malinois owners who grab more dog than they can handle. And hang on here. I see, yep, Brian Yogi doing burpees in his basement. Um, the Optimum family, Jace, Eric, friend in the list is so huge, I know. And I thank you for saying that, Chris. I do. But the and it's like I say, I uh I just we just love our community of small channels, small creators, and these are folks that are just pouring it out for you all the time. They're just pouring it out to you, and I'm standing here and I'm giving you some advice on if you want to get a Malinois, okay, get a Malinois. Be ready to have a Malinois. Be ready because the dog's coming ready to do its thing, but you have to make your dog want to do your thing. And when you get them to where they love you, I mean, you see, I'm actually very light-handed on this leash right here, and he you see him lay that ear down. That's something I love about him. He has done that since he was a puppy. Most of the time, Mountain Wilds walk around with those ears shoved up all the time. Not this one. He uses that like a cocked eyebrow, kind of like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He'll kick that eyebrow, but he'll lay that ear down and look at you. He's just so funny. And all right, let me get my bifocals up again. Let's see some commands. Justin Miller. Okay. Well, Justin Miller, all right, I'll do something for you here. All right, get on here. Good boy. Good. All right, come around. And I mean, he's not a show chicken. Remember that. Blackjack, lay down. Lay down. No, that's it. You're a lot shorter when you're laying down. There you go. Good boy. Good. Come up to sit. Good. Boy. Perfect. Good boy. All right. That's about the extent I'm going to do that, okay, big guy? But I appreciate you talking with me. Let's see. Yes, they do, Miss Chris. That small channel makers make big impacts. And we're glad that both of y'all are here. And Justin, I encourage you to get on our channel and subscribe. Get on Nature Dog Realms and subscribe. All those playlists you see on our channel, go there. You go to those people and you subscribe to them, and you watch their stuff, encourage them, hit like, share it. Hey, nobody's gonna get mad at you about that. And no, I mean, I'm not a big Hollywood production kind of guy, but I can tell you what, there's some that are, and I'm not the greatest at getting my ideas out there because I'm just no egg country boy, and I get out here and I just do the thing, and what I know is this: I know what I do, my job. I do know that, but I know this right here. I know this dog, and he knows me, and I know that aggravating cuss over there too. Tick was more of a challenge than Blackjack, believe it or not. Um, Australian Shepherd Catahoula mix that I picked up from the pound, and they made me have him fixed. Even though I realized that there was going to be a problem if I did that, but I couldn't get him if I didn't do it, and so I didn't. I went and had took him to the vet, had him neutered, and he he had a neighbor that had a pit bull, a male pit bull that came over, and he was kind of following that pit bull around as a beta to that pit bull, and the neighbor came looking for his dog, and well, I walked out there with a leash, and I was going to get his dog for him, and when I did that, adult male pit, gives me the belly. He gave me full belly. I petted him and took the leash on him and walked him back home. Well, Tick saw that. He was standing about 10 feet away, and his eyes got about that big around, and he backed off of me. And it was fully a year then before I could put a hand on him again and touch him, pet him. And it was every day that rolled, I had to work on, just gave him an opportunity. And I would try to bribe him with a hamburger or a sausage and biscuit I brought home from work, and just calm, quiet talking. And finally, after about a year, he he walked up and he let me touch the tip of his nose when I was sitting in the chair. And then after that, I could, if I put my hand in my pocket, I could reach down with one hand and touch the side of his face. And if I tried to touch him, he would back up. And finally, I could get down there and I could touch his face, and then I was able to rub his shoulders. And it was just working it up, and it was probably a year and 3 months there. And but he deserved it. He and and I haven't. I've only taught him to sit. That's come here and sit. That's about all I've taught him, because he had been abused badly, and I just wanted him to live live his best life. And he kind of does his thing. He's a little bad about chasing cars, and I feel like that's um going to be the way he leaves this world. But you can look at him and tell he's not starved to death. Like you can look at me. I'm not hungry either, but he's pretty low key, and everything's great for him. And he's got a job. Tick lays out here and or right here. And if somebody comes up to our house, he'll bark. He'll bark one time, which sets off this burglar alarm inside, and he'll run down to the woods and hide. That's what he does, and I'm great with that. I have no more expectations of him than that. And he loves the kids, loves my wife, and he's great with everybody. He's gentle, but he doesn't have any man dog in him at all. He's just kind of a benign, oh, how you doing, kind of dog. And that's great. He's 180 degrees out of line with this one. And but you saw Blackjack interacting with him. He's not like that with other dogs. Now he's controllable if we're in a public setting. That's another thing. Um, Learning to keep your dog's attention on you and get it back on you. Um, we stop at a gas station every day and have some tinkle break, right? Okay. Other people stop there too to let their dogs go potty. Pretty much. I mean, he knows the other dog is there, but I don't have problems with him pulling and jerking and acting crazy, lunging and things like that. He just doesn't do that. And it took some work. It's again, if you decide to step off in it and get a Malinois, well, you're getting a lot of dog. If you get a German Shepherd, you're getting a lot of dog. And the thank you. And the thing is, I mean, you see, I'm very light-handed with him on this, and he likes to move with me, and this leash is your communication with your dog, and you can't forget that. I I'm very, I don't know. I had to go through a lot of evolution on with him from the time of a puppy. Um, there's tools that you use with the Malinois that there are those that get white around the mouth if you bring them up, and okay, I mean, they've got a right to have their opinion. Um, and if you have a Malinois, by the way, you will learn to stand on balance all the time and pay attention because you will. I've got scars to prove it. He will absolutely put you on the ground if you're not careful. But the on the tools, I personally chokers on a Malinois. This is my opinion, okay? And if anybody wants to disagree, you're certainly welcome to disagree. I never found a choker to be useful with him. I'm not saying I'm against using chokers. I'm saying I never found it to be useful. Um, when I had him a day or so, I ran into a man that was an actual military dog handler, and he introduced me to a prong collar, and I had never seen one in real life, and his dog was something. I mean, that was like a dog within a dog, and just really crazy. And you see him reacting to that siren because he will, uh, but he doesn't just wig out. You hear how there's no howling and barking at that. He's just looking. He's listening. I haven't told him anything's wrong. I'm not acting like anything's wrong. So he's cool. See, that's not overnight. It's every day, all day. Um, the but I introduced him to a prong collar. I'd say at about 6 months. I could have done it younger, but I didn't. You know, come on, right, Jay. Um, and it was because he was getting to where he was doing that a lot. Come here. uh. There you go. And it was hard to get him to get that attention back. And and I at the time I was still learning on like just that little thing right there, just turning the 90-degree turns and stuff. Let's see here. You don't use chokers anymore. It was so strong. Yeah, I agree. When they're a strong dog, when you're trying to use a choker, it it doesn't help. But the prong collar, I was able to put on him, and first day one, moment one, I had him right here, and I just reached down and I sized it to him and got it on him. And you put them on there kind of snug. You want them to fit snugly, not choking them, but I mean snug. And that's why, if you notice on my leash, I have two carabiners on there. Well, this one, that's what that is for. If I'm using the prong collar, I can put that up there because it engages first. But it was simply put the prong collar on him, and I just stood there and I let him walk away from me. And he pulled about that hard, and he backed up, and he pulled about that hard, and he backed up, and then I just pulled the slack in on the leash, and that walked him right back around to me, just like he's doing right now. And I I tend to put a knot in my leash, like about where my fingers are right there. If you notice, you see me. I don't know if you really can tell, but I two finger, or I maybe wrap a finger around, or kind of, I'll do it like that a lot, where I'm just going between those fingers and my thumbs on that knot, because it's really all I need. I'm controlling him, and I can get his attention, like right there. I mean, if I reach down and just rub his ear, that turns his head. He gets back on track. He's looking at Tick out there in the backyard because Tick's got a rabbit going in it. But okay, he's got a rabbit going, yet look who's here. And talk about a high prey drive dog. This is him. It's not the impossible dream to get one dealt with and taught to do as you want them to do. And the okay, yeah, but the but it's but I'm able to be, like I say, pretty light-handed with him. And when he and I are walking, if he's getting out on the end of the leash, because I just go hands free with him most of the time. Really all I have to do, if he's out in front of me, I can just kind of put my hand and blade hand that leash, and you see just blade hand in that leash. It tells him what he needs to know. And I'm not trying to come across as I'm Mr. Malinois. Um, I am the center of his world. I'm daddy to him, and this is my buddy. And we have learned, because he'll tell me stuff, and because I have to be able to read him. I have to know when he's thirsty. I have to know when he's hungry. I have to, Malinois mask pain. So if we're out and about, and I may take the leash off of him and let him run, if I'm in an area where there's not a lot of houses around, and I have one area that's like that. Otherwise, I have to keep him tethered to me, because there's cattle and there's people with other dogs and people with kids, and he certainly looks a whole lot like a coyote when he's running across a pasture. And it's just the way it is. I mean, it's my responsibility to protect him as much as it's his to protect me if the wheels come off. And so I keep him on tether, unless I'm pretty darn sure, and we're not in the middle of some hunting season or something, in an area where there may be people out and about. And and I like I say, you don't have to be heavy handed with them, but I did, and this took a lot of soul searching with me. Um, and I did a lot of research on this, and a lot of of well-respected friends that um, have different types of dogs that they train for, hog hunting or bird hunting or whatever. But guys who have had experience with e-collars, um, I knew that they were useful, but I do also know that there's a great opportunity to abuse that. And I also know that there's a lot of people that get plumb bent and butt hurt over e-collars um, because of the ease of abuse there. Okay, well, um, a good friend of mine just explained to me how he worked with his dogs, and he and so I, after him being very patient with me and answering all my questions and all that, I invested in not a very expensive e-collar, but one that was decent. Just like I didn't mention this on the prong collar, because I've had people on comments say, they want to call me a name and then say, why don't I put that on myself? Well, before it goes on this dog, it goes on me. Believe it or not, that prong collar went around my neck, and I grabbed it, and I can snatch something, and I grabbed it and I snatched it way harder than he would ever be, pulled on that, because an e collar, I mean a prong collar is this. It's just this. It's them pulling it. It's not you. Um, the and while it didn't, it was uncomfortable, but it didn't hurt, and so I used it on him, but I knew what it felt like. Okay, an e collar, that e collar went right here, and I put it in my hand and I squeezed it very hard, and I've got the head unit in my hand, and I'm starting at one, and I'm going up to where I felt something in my hand. Okay, when I introduced it to him, I started at one, 2 levels below what I felt in my hand, where it felt like somebody just touching me in the hand. He picked his head up and looked around. Okay, that was the level that I used on that e-collar. Okay, where he just looked, you know, and I just taught him that meant come to me, and so that's what he does. If I've got him off leash, I have to have an emergency brake on him. I have to have 100-yard leash or a quarter-mile leash on him, because somebody could kill him. He could kill somebody's dog. He could get killed by a vehicle. All kind of things. Bit by a snake. All kind of stuff. But the thing is, I stood still too long in emotion. Like yeah, there's that. But an e-collar, if you do it right, 99.9% of the time, when he's got an e-collar on, and he had it on when I started video, and I took it off, because of what I'm doing with him right here. I mean, I don't need it, you know. Um, but 99.9% of the time, I beep him. That's all I have to, just beep him. And he's a male Malinois. He's got hard hitting moments, and if he's doing something that's absolutely, you're just not going to do that right now, then I may tap him. But again, what it does is it just gets his attention, pulls his attention back here. He's right back here. He hits the reset button on his behavior. And and I know it's controversial. And you did okay, good, good. Yeah, that and that's Miss Chris. I mean, that's the responsible thing to do, I think. Um, because if you don't know yourself, what's a correction, let's say a corrective tool feels like yourself, how could you possibly use it responsibly on your dog? And I mean, just do it till you hear them, yelp out in it, right? But yet I do know people that would do that. And with his collar, I mean, this is a Tactipup collar. I I've got another collar on order for him because this one 3 years old and it's lasted through him just beating the crap out of it. Um, the yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I'm seeing it what looks like a new thing, but but the but they'll destroy a collar. By the way, they'll just absolutely. If it's got a plastic buckle on it, you don't even need to put it on because they're going to destroy it. And I found that the collars with the Cobra buckles are just for convenience sakes. I like it. I can adjust it to him, pop it off, pop it on in the morning if we're ready to roll. And the now, do you want to see what he sounds like when he gets amped up? Because I can play with him, um, and it's just to show you how quick. When I say that he can go from zero to all business in a microsecond, I did that in that video I did back around New Year's in the living room with him, where he's laying up there looking real aggressive, laying on my leg, me just rubbing him. But you see, he's sitting here and we're just all petty, lovey, right? And you you know, and okay, you want to see that? Okay, it can happen this quickly. See, see how you can switch him on, switch him off. I mean, that's how smart that. No, we're good. See, that's how smart they are. That's how quick he is on his reflexes. If things went sideways, because what he does is he keys in on my demeanor with somebody, and he keys in on my demeanor. He's gonna give him a sip of water here. He's been doing a lot of talking here, right? So, but when he keys in on my demeanor, he's you know, like I say, if I'm cool with you, he's cool with you. But if I've got an issue with you, he does. And we've already had that happen before. And he was a year or so old, and there wasn't a bite, but I mean he postured, he barked one time, and he and he I mean he was just about to do it. Now get around here, come around, get on here. Good. No, that's not a heel. That's a sucky heel. That's a sucky heel. Come around, come around. But I love how he'll put his foot on top of my boot when we're out and I stop walking or something and I'm looking at something. He'll walk up and he'll put his foot on my boot. And someone told me that's just a Malinois, and I have to think that that's just the purpose of letting you know that they're with you, but at the same time that he can feel if I'm moving or if I'm tense or right, he can feel it. It's just kind of crazy how they are. It's the coolest thing in the world. And I know everybody's got their favorite dog. I know they do. And I've had a beagle that was a cool little old dog, and I loved him. Um, I've had a black lab and a golden retriever and all kind of Heinz 57 dogs. I've had several little small little feists that there's your country term, huh? That have been great dogs, and they're just a lot of fun, and they're playful and things like that. Um, but I will say, at this phase in my life, at this stage, and for what I'm doing, and for just me, my absolute favorite. I've never had a dog that emotionally connects with me like him. I've never had a dog that is emotionally expressive as he is, and I've never, I've had some smart dogs, but not like him. He's easy to teach and train because he's so dadgum smart. But then again, he works you to death because he's so dadgum smart. Because he shortcuts you and he's thinking around you, thinking past you all the time. And it's it makes it such a challenge. You got to stay on top of your game with him. But the fact is right now something that you don't realize. All right, he if I let the tailgate of my truck down, he pops up in the back of that truck, and it's just something we do. And I mean, he's just always it's something I do with him during the day. Well, but that's his place to hop up there and sit and get still. Well, I've got this really cool, by the way, swiveling foam base that tracks your movements. I mean, check this. See how this walks along with us? The Chas is not out here with the camera. This is on that swiveling base. She's got a TikTok shop over there on TikTok, and channel name's the same as this one. I encourage you to check it out. I mean, it's a really cool base. I like it. But the um, but the thing is, um, he before I went live, I caught him in midair because he was about to just demolish my phone in this space by jumping up in the back of the truck. Let me get my bifocals up here. Yeah, I can see that's your relationship with her, and and what's awesome is it's such a rich, deep relationship with the dog when they're a very capable dog. I mean, to use the word like it is, they're a lethal animal. They're lethal. But yet they condition themselves to be what you need them to be. That's how much they love you. And you bond so tightly with them that this animal that you can walk out there around anybody. Um, yes, indeed. Um, you can walk around anybody, and the dog's not going to, lunge at them and try to hurt them or anything like that. And you see another dog, well, you can just kind of turn direction and do your little square, and you can keep on rocking on about your day. Well, that's not natural behavior for that dog. And that dog is submitting all that and trusting you with its safety. If you ever thought about that, they're giving up what's their survival instinct and what they're born with to keep them alive because they love you so much. They're doing that for you. Now, I mean, we do that with people too, don't we? But not to this extent. We really don't. That's what makes dogs so awesome. And you know, Blackjack, he doesn't judge me. If I turn around and I foul up, because I don't bat 1,000 with him. And oh yeah, yeah. Well, there you go. But she's a female, and female dogs are very protective. That's been my experience over time. Um, but I lost my train of thought. Doggone it. And I know everybody just riveted. But thing is, this love affair with the Malinois breed that I have it started overnight. It was instantaneous. When the first time I saw him, I couldn't take my eyes off of him. And when I petted him and looked at him, and he locked eyes with me, and we walked a while before he hopped in the truck with me there, and we came home. He laid his head on on one side of my arm and his paw was on the other side of my arm up on the console. And that's how we've been ever since then. And he decided he loved me a little bit too. And I just love him. And I think that the biggest thing I can tell you, if you want a Malinois and they're just the dog for you, and you just like, yep, gotta have one because everybody says they're just the coolest dog ever. Well, they are the coolest dog ever, and they're a dang tough dog, but they are a dang loving dog too, and they'll enrich your life. But you got to not listen to a bunch of horse crap that some people will throw at you about these dogs. You have to realize nature is nature. And it doesn't matter what somebody's opinion is. Nature's nature. And the thank you. And you have to be strong enough and good enough for the dog because it's for their well-being. If they're going to give up their natural savage way and they're going to be civil to the rules that you set for them, you owe it to the dog because the dog doesn't care about anybody's political, religious affiliation. They don't care what your ethnicity is. They don't care what your economic bracket, financial bracket you fall into. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Really and truly, they don't care if you're a man or a woman or whatever. What they do care about is what you're teaching them. And they will absolutely try to get one by you. And they'll try to get one over on you and they'll try to dominate you and they'll try to tell you how the cow eats the cabbage. And I'm here to tell you that you can use all the traditional tools that are there that have been used with dogs for a long time. And you can watch people. I'll tell you who I've watched, okay? And these two guys, well, three guys. I learned a lot from them, but it's Robert Cabral, Larry Crone, and Mike Ritland. I'm not saying there's not other great trainers out there. I'm not saying that. But I would say Robert Cabral is the main one that I've learned from because it's very common sense. And I never, ever, ever thought that, you see it's just two fingers clamped on that knot on this leash and he's with me because, it's learning the little basic things. And you'll never bat 1,000 with your dog. But if you're willing to step up and really, truly manage the dog's behavior, teach the dog how you need it to be, these dogs will do it. They're looking forward to it. They're all down with the program. And let's see here. It's heck to get old. You know that, Miss Chris? It really is. I'm sitting here. Thank you. I do love this. I do. And I he like I say, he was a gift. And if somebody gives you a puppy, they're the breeders, and they wanted me to have him. They've seen what I've done with like Tick and other dogs that I've had, and just how consistent I am with my dogs. And um, somebody gives you a puppy that much, they love you, and they do want to work, and that's a fact. And he wants to, he wants to. Sit. I haven't done the play fighting thing with him in so long. and I'm about to do it again with him, but normally I'll be standing out there and I may be looking at a reading or something and standing there thinking about what I'm doing, and I'll be standing there like this, and I've got my hands up, and he may be just like he is, and so I'm standing there and I'm writing down a number or thinking about what I'm doing, and but if I turn around and if I shuffle my foot at him, see, he'll do that, or I can do this, and he's, I mean, he's coming dang close to me. All right, but no, everybody teach your dog that little trick. That I know, isn't that in the classic books of isn't that in the classic books where people teach you how to train dogs? Don't they say put your finger to your lips and go shh, because your dogs don't understand what that means? Yeah. Well, he does, and he gets it. He doesn't do it. No, silly. He doesn't do it, but he knows what's in this pocket too, and he's been good, and I'm gonna pay him because that's part of training your dog. Come around, right here. Yeah, get over here. Whoop. Yep, he got me on that one. I dropped it, so I fumbled the football, and he recovered the fumble. Touchdown, Blackjack. Um, the thing is this as a puppy. I'm gonna put up a video, by the way. Brian sent me. Um, yes, he is. He is so smart, and he keeps me on my toes. If I have to put my car keys in my pocket because he'd steal my truck if I let him. Not really, but he's smart. The But I'm gonna put up a video. Brian, the breeder, he sent me a video of Blackjack as a puppy right before I got him, and it's Blackjack and his twin brother. And the thing is, no, sir, sit it down. Hey, 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 hey. Something is in the woods back there, deer or something. But anyway, um, but I'm gonna show you that because he was a cute puppy, but he was awkward, and he was kind of like you know a a prepubescent boy with big feet, and hit him a growth spurt, big feet, long legs, and just kind of But then watching him develop and how graceful and just beautifully he moves. We had some wells that cow pasture was all around them, and these cattle would come up to the fence, and even as a puppy, Blackjack would walk up to the fence, and his head would be up, ears up, and he would hold one foot up, that tail perfectly, just like it's supposed to be, just be on point, look staring those cows down. And there was a time or two at a gate where these are kind of wild cows, and where one of them would try to send me on to Beulah land, and he absolutely, I mean, he got him some cow, the taste of cow in his mouth. I promise you, he'll eat them up. But now come around. You're gonna have to sit down and settle down. Tick, calm down. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate that, and I'm glad you're here. And I haven't I haven't missed anybody, have I? Okay. Well, I I do hope that this hasn't been too boring. Hope this hasn't been too boring, and I hope that it's helped people that wanted to that are on the fence, that want to know what it's like to have a Malinois, to feed a Malinois. So I haven't said anything about feeding him. I feed him like a feed called Value Pack. It's in the black sack, and it's a what is it? Chas 28% protein, 30%, something like that protein, and I'll throw some canned salmon in there on him a couple of times a week, and that seems to do him just fine. And I I bought some very high dollar um, um, dog food, um, and I won't say the name of it, but it rhymes with Richter Bow. Okay, um, and he would not eat it, which is funny because Chas at that time had a little female Chihuahua. And she's about this big. And at that time, she was like 3, 4 years old. That Chihuahua loved that dog food, that extremely high protein dog food. Folks, I'm going to tell you this: it is not natural to see a Chihuahua, a little female Chihuahua, walking around just bowed up. I mean, just cut. But, for any Chihuahua owners out there, if you want to have an awesome CrossFit looking Chihuahua that looks like, like it's the, let's say special forces of the Chihuahua world, feed your dog that, because my gosh, it made her cut and it was so funny to see. And I thank you, thank you, thank you. That was funny, and it just was. But this one right here, he wouldn't he wouldn't run on that 102 octane, but you know he'll go on 87, 88, 89 octane gas. He runs just fine on that. So you don't have to get crazy with it. There's people that feed a lot more expensive food. Good on you. I'm glad you do. And feeding intervals, everybody's got their own thing on that. There's suggested intervals, and then there's the interval that this one would eat at, and that's what we roll on. And I'm not even going to go into that because inevitably at some juncture somebody's going to want to sit there and tell me how to feed him, and I mean he's fine, thank you. But anyway, I love a dog. I love a good dog, and I love people, and I love good people, and my goal every day is the same as, like I say, all these other creators that we interact with and that we've grown to love. Everybody just wants to put a smile on your face every day. And Miss Chris said that today in her life. And I'm sorry, by the way, I had to go and at one point there, and I couldn't let you know. I had to go. But the thing is, we just want to give you something that makes that comforts you, or gives you something to make you feel a little better, makes you smile, um, help you. Nobody out here that's in the group that I'm kind of hanging around and seeing their stuff and learning who they are and how they are. Not one of them is trying to take anything from you. I mean, I told y'all about this base right here. I think this base is cool because it moves with you, and it is really useful. And you can put it on a tripod mount, whatever you want to do. Don't do it when you've got a Malinois walking around biting you in the hand because you think you're goofing around with it. But I think you'd be remiss not to subscribe to everybody's channels. Really engage. Do comment if you like it. Tell them you like it. If and hit that like button. If you really like it and you're digging on it, send it to somebody you know that you think would dig it too. And tell them you need to subscribe to these people. Everybody's just growing, and it's great. It's cool to reach people. And I'll say this: it means something to me. All of this does. It's not a hobby. Well, I mean, you know, you get it. It's purposeful. I don't. I'm so busy. I have to have a purpose behind anything I do. This is an outreach for us. Um, a good friend of mine that I work around out here. This guy had been in the Marine Corps, and well, like many vets, I mean, he came back from several deployments, and he's had a few birthdays since then, and some stuff still kind of eats at him. And that video I put up here a while back, where it's just Blackjack and I walking down the driveway. It's a still picture, but I did a voiceover about when God wakes you up every day. If God wakes you up, that guy, his thing now to say is, God woke me up again today, so I've got a reason to be here. And that's a man right there that was starting to ask that question: why am I even still here? Well, now he knows he's got a reason to be here. Do you not think that made this man right here feel great? It makes it worth it. Reaching people, giving them something. You know, I am a man of faith, and I don't try to cram it down somebody's throat. But at the same time, I'm not ashamed of my faith either, and I'm not ashamed of the things that I believe and feel that are to be true in this world. And and we love people. And ain't he pretty young? God, dog, that's a pretty dog, ain't he? I love this boy. But anyway, Brian and Rita Johnson, y'all blessed me when y'all gave him to me, and I love y'all for that. And I never will forget this ever. But anyway, we've been through in the last month or so. The three tornadoes. I don't know if everybody remembers, but that came through where I work over there. My gosh, I mean the neighborhoods are torn up and houses gone. People had gotten killed, and um, you know the town that Brian and Rita are from got hit and torn up real badly. But they were fine, but the town got messed up. But but I just encourage everybody to get out there and show these people some love. Give them a chance to love you. Give them a chance to show you their heart, because everybody, that's all they're giving you, a little piece of them. Well, I hope everybody has a good night. And I've got to go in. I haven't even, I came in from work and haven't even eaten supper or anything yet. I just decided I'd do this off the cuff. And I know it's nerve wracking to everybody that I do it, kind of randomly, but it's the way I have to do it. But but thank you everybody. We love you and we appreciate your support. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Okay. Good night, everybody.